Okay, sorry. Okay. Welcome to the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology virtual board meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, we will play a short video to explain procedures for this virtual meeting and how members of the public can participate and interact with the board during the meeting.
Sorry, Kai, can you make me a co-host?
It went off.
Must be the rain.
Okay.
Mia, we can't hear.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras. Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
First is a reminder to the public, if you're accessing this meeting by the internet, to view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You may be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or another identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format, such as your_name@anymail.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Access by phone. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by using Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted to the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate that you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star, then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star, then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony. I will now conduct a roll call of the board members. When your name is called, please state that you are present and state that you are alone or if there are other individuals present at your location. I'm Margaret Williams, present. Renette Hall?
Renette Hall. present.
Renette. Oh, good. Michael Basta?
I'm here. Hello.
Leslie Murata?
Les is
Hi.
here. Hi.
And Jamie Yap?
Present.
All present and accounted for. The second item on the agenda is to approve the February 13th, 2004 public executive minutes. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay. Has anybody got any amendments to suggest for the board meeting open session minutes? No? Yes? Johnny?
No testimony.
Okay. If there are no amendments, is there a motion to approve the board meeting open session and executive session minutes? I need a motion.
I approve.
I second.
Good. Michael Basta approve and Jamie Yap second. All in favor, say yes.
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 Aye. Yes.
Any opposed, say no. The motion is carried. It's time for the executive officer to provide a report. Executive officer?
Thank you.
Let me do the first part.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we move further into the meeting, we wanted to take this opportunity to thank our illustrious chair, Margaret, and Jamie Yap for all your hard work over the past few years. We this will be their last meeting unless we call something before June 30th when their terms end. So thank you so much for all your hard work and your input. We really appreciate it, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you much. I didn't help revise the rules and regs as I wanted to, so I'm still going to be continuing to try to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For some reason or another, I can't see everybody, but good enough. I see your bottoms. Okay, executive officer report.
So I have examination reports from January, February, March, and April. So it's going to be a little bit. Okay, so for barbers, we had 13 candidates, 9 passed, 4 failed. Cosmetology, 24 candidates, 11 passed, 13 failed. Esthetician, 29 candidates, 10 passed, 19 failed. Hairdresser, 4 candidates, 4 passed. Instructor, 1 candidate, 1 pass. Nail technician, 10 candidates, 5 passed, 10 failed. Let's see, February. Oh. Yeah, oh, sorry, 5 passed, 5 failed. February, barber, 12 candidates, 6 passed, 6 failed. Cosmetology, 12 candidates, 4 passed, 8 failed. Esthetician, 46 candidates, 25 passed. Oh, sorry, 29 passed, 17 failed. Hairdresser, 5 candidates, 3 passed, 2 failed. Instructor, no candidates. Nail technician, 7 candidates, 1 passed, 6 failed. March, barber, 15 candidates, 10 passed, 5 failed. Cosmetology, 28 candidates, 12 passed, 16 failed. Esthetician, 41 candidates, 23 passed, 18 failed. Hairdresser, 5 candidates, 4 passed, 1 failed. Instructor, one candidate, and they passed. Okay, nail technician, 12 candidates, 7 passed, 5 failed. April, barbers, 8 candidates, 3 passed, 5 failed. Cosmetology, 23 candidates, 12 passed, 11 failed. Esthetician, 33 candidates, 19 passed, 14 failed. Hairdresser, 3 candidates, 2 passed, 1 failed. No instructor candidates. Nail technician, 10 candidates, 3 passed, 7 failed. Let's see, B on our executive report, response to Attorney Junsuke Aaron Otsuka from Honolulu Nail, representing Honolulu Nail Academy. The board received a letter from Attorney Otsuka on March 1st, 2024, requesting information. And the staff we responded with the May 2nd letter.
So we're just bringing that to your attention because we did give some information. We wanted you to know what that information was in case you had any comments on that. Basically, they had questions regarding the requirements and the hours and what they could and could not do online. So we put that in letter form for them, so they had it. When they received it, they seemed to be satisfied with the answer.
Good.
Oh, that's the ending of the executive officer report.
Okay, there's a list of licensing people who need to be licensed. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Then can we have a motion to go into executive session to consider and evaluate personal information regarding the individuals applying for licensure? I need a motion.
Yes, I move.
Michael Basta moves to go into executive session. Is there a second?
Les Murata second.
Good. All in favor say yes.
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 All oppose say no. Okay, let's go into executive session. Motion is carried.
If everyone would mute themselves in Zoom and turn off your cameras, is there anyone that needs us to phone them into Teams? Nope.
I don't know yet.
We'll join the Teams then.
I'm gonna
Ka'ua,
try.
I'm having problems in here. Can you come? Ka'ua. I can't even find mute on this one.
You want to mute yourself?
I have to mute on the previous one. I don't know how I moved to this one.
And I stopped recording.
Can you hear me on this one? Hello?
I can hear you, Margaret.
I can hear you, Margaret.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
There you
Oh,
go.
finally.
Can you all hear us now?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Ah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
all
Okay.
righty. Thank you.
Your board is all gathered. You can
Uh-oh.
continue.
Oh dear. I lost my place. Sorry.
That's okay. I think you're ready to call for a vote on agenda item 4, but see if there was anybody for testimony first.
Okay. We're back to agenda 4. Is there anyone who wishes to make testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We have one individual wishing to provide testimony. Michael, I will switch you to panelist mode for you to present your testimony.
Where did I put the meeting?
Hello?
Hi, Michael. This is Carrie. I'm one of the executive officers. We can hear you, but we can't see you. Can you turn your camera on?
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, we can see you now and hear you. Did you have some testimony you wanted to provide?
Oh, I was just checking about the applications for shop applications.
Okay,
Did you
so
get there yet?
yes, we just finished that portion in executive session and we were getting ready to take a vote.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm new to this procedure, so.
Not a problem. I think if you just hold tight and I think you'll be happy with the vote that's going to be taken.
Okay.
Have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to interject and see how I could, if we were at that point yet.
Okay, yeah, we're getting ready to take that vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Aloha. Aloha.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we've done. Any members of the public?
So I motion for the license applications for Michelle Wright. Motion to approve a conditional license. And then for shop applications, I move to approve Michael Donahue, Teresa Ferguson, and Sarah Permink.
Check.
I apologize. Permink. and
Sarah's.
and to approve the ratification list.
Okay.
So I motion to approve
Now,
those.
let's have them. Oh, can she make the motion? And then is there a second? I need a second.
Les, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me yet?
Now we
No.
can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, say no. Then the motion is carried. Mr. Donahue, you've got a license shop soon. When you get the paper. Now we have to go to old business. The email from Team Meticulous from January. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay. Shall we read what Team Meticulous wants to know?
Team Meticulous has 2 questions for the board. The first question is whether it is against the law for nail technicians to work on clients with toenails that have irregular appearances or are affected by nail fungus. And the second question is, are there any specific guidelines, protocols, or regulations in place to address the concerns related to toenail irregularities or nail fungus?
Now, from a nail technician's point of view, I cannot state specifically what our law is, but what we are taught is you send anyone with an irregular nail, or you never diagnose. As a nail technician, you never diagnose. And you never tell them, oh, you have fungus. You tell them you should go check yourself at the go to the doctor. That is what we are taught. And that is what I teach anyone that works for me. We do not diagnose, and we do not tell them what we refer them to a doctor, whether it be a podiatrist or a what is the dermatologist.
The standard text of cosmetology does say that it is against the law to work with anybody or a nail technician to diagnose, and also against the law for to work with nail fungus and any, I've forgotten what it is, any infected disorder that's on the nails. I sent the board, or just yesterday, I'm so sorry, you probably haven't opened your computers and found it, but I sent the board pictures of nail disorders and diseases. There are a lot that can be, but anyone who's going to be working on items that look strange on nails, if they can't be sure that they are not contagious, they've got to take them out. The textbook even says people have been hospitalized just for nail fungus when nail fungus is bad. And what are we all about? Licensure is to protect the public. And the people who are working on nails definitely should be protecting the public and being sure that whatever they're working on is not going to harm the person who's getting their nails done and not going to harm the people who follow them. Just cleaning your tools does not prevent the spread of infection in the person who is being worked on. So
I've also turned people away when they've got cuts on their feet. I won't put them in my tub.
That's a good thing. So what we are saying is no, they have to send their people to the doctors. Is there any law on that? The only law that you can quote from our rules or our laws would be that it is required that we follow the general practitioner in the public. I've forgotten what the law says. If you want to quote it completely, I'm afraid, Kai, I'm going to have to rely on you. But I do know that the law says that we must follow standard practice, and to fail to do so is to lose your license. Following the textbook and not spreading or not hurting anyone who is having their nails done is part of your license.
So I would like to be able to cite the actual law. So let's see if I can find that.
Okay.
If we're going to say that it's law, we need to be able to cite what the law is.
I forgot to look that up.
Would it be professional misconduct, gross negligence, or manifest incapacity?
There you go. Yes, I believe so.
So that
Voted exempt.
That would be 439A16. It's one of the reasons to refuse to grant or permit, suspend, or revocation of a license for reasons including but not limited to the following: 2, professional misconduct, gross negligence, or manifest incapacity. So the standard of care is you refer those people to a podiatrist or dermatologist, and the law would be that your license could be revoked for failure to do so.
That's,
Based on-
yes.
Based on 439A-16(2). Is that,
So that is in the law?
well, as I said, professional misconduct is a reason to suspend
Remove a license.
or revoke a license, and if the board is saying that by not referring someone to a podiatrist or dermatologist would be professional misconduct, then that's where it would fall.
Mhm.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm asking if that's the correct
You-
thought you're thinking of.
You have got it perfectly.
Okay.
Absolutely perfectly. And in reality, any person who cares about the public at all should be referring these things to the physician just to prevent any further hardships.
Okay, so if I understood what the board has directed us to respond, 439A-16 does say that a license can be revoked or suspended or not renewed for professional misconduct or gross negligence. The standard of care in the profession is if there is any irregularity to the nail,
No.
to refer the patient to a podiatrist or a dermatologist.
This is
It
where
is
training.
not-
Yeah,
it is-
just irregularity to the nail may not necessarily mean it is fungus, or somebody
Yeah.
might have smashed their nail and it might be wavy. That's
Yeah,
different.
so give me the terminology to use in the response.
I'm sorry, I had my pictures all set. It's boy, I've got to get the pictures. It's in there. It's exactly quoted, but I forgot where.
Now, if you took your theory and you took your training as a nail technician, you would recognize these different types of infections.
Okay.
And you would
That's what it is.
refer them to someone. If it's, you smash your finger in a door, your nail's gonna turn purple. That, there's a reason for that. It's not an infection. I don't want to.
Based on page 212 of what Margaret sent us, could I say any nail showing signs of infection or inflammation should not be diagnosed or treated, but the client should be referred to a podiatrist or dermatologist and not provided service at that time or something?
Yes.
Including fungal.
But that's the terminology one. A nail showing signs of infection or inflammation.
Correct.
Yes, and in fungus is an infection.
Yeah.
You should add that, because otherwise they're going to say no, not fungus. I can work on that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I do know that there are many forms of fungus that are easily treated by people, but there are forms that look exactly like the others that are not easily treated. But there are so many disorders that need help, just disorders, not diseases.
Which textbook is
There's a lot of
this,
pictures.
Margaret? Is this Milady or is this something else?
This is a Milady Standard Text of Cosmetology. The one that had the best pictures is an ancient one.
Okay. So I could say, please refer to the Milady's section on nail disorders and diseases.
Yeah.
Would that be something you would put in
The
the
textbooks-
response?
The
up to you.
textbooks have, pardon? The textbooks
just
have
wondering
much
if
less information now.
Okay.
So send them the pictures. Send them the information that I sent you. Is that possible?
Yeah, we can include that with the response because they emailed us, so we
Yeah,
can certainly
refer to the pictures.
response via email.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. I appreciate it. I think that gives us enough to answer that.
I appreciate it too.
All right.
Okay. So I'm sorry. We have a response there. So new business.
Yeah, thank you for
We have-
helping me out. I have a couple of questions regarding our
Oh,
votes to help me out. The first
Mhm.
one concerns 439A2. That is where your statute says that a barber apprentice can train with a hairdresser or a cosmetologist for the hairdressing portion of the training, for the hair cutting portion of the training. I'm sorry, I'll read it properly. I do have sometimes when we receive apprenticeship completion paperwork, and the apprentice has apprenticed under a cosmetologist, the cosmetologist has also trained them under the facials portion of their training, the 10 to 30 hours in facials and the 15 operations in facials. According to the statute, that's not part of what a cosmetologist can train the barber apprentice on, because the statute says the hairdressing portion.
And they don't do facials. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like direction from the board if we should be accepting that. We obviously don't accept the shaving portion when a cosmetologist thinks that they can train in the shaving, because a cosmetologist isn't authorized to do shaving. So we don't accept that. We make them go back and do that portion if that happens. I'm not as confident about the facial portion, because a cosmetologist is authorized to do facials, just it's not spelled out in the statute that they can train a barber apprentice to do that.
Our facials are quite different, but the whole scope of it and the reason for our movements are the same. So I would say a cosmetologist can train a barber in facials.
That's what I would say too. Just they learn the same techniques. In order to get your cosmetology license, you have to be able to do a facial and learn those techniques.
Okay, so we have two people that think that that's okay. Anybody have? I don't see any safety issue for prohibiting. It's just that it didn't get written into the statute, so I want to make sure that we're okay. Is everyone in agreement that as cosmetologists do facials anyway, they can train the barber in the facials?
A full cosmetologist, but not a hairdresser, huh?
Not a hairdresser, no. Hairdressers don't do facials.
My only question was the amount of time it takes for us to have a barbering license versus to have a cosmetology license. Is there a number of hours that's different? If not, then again, that's not an issue.
Well, the hours are different, but the person training the barber gives them the number of hours that a barber needs to be trained. So the person training them is already licensed, so they know what they're doing. We're going to assume, because we gave them a license. So, and they're training the barber in the number of hours of training that the barber needs to apply for licensure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't start it, but I know how to follow it.
Okay, so if I understood the board correctly, we're going to, if a cosmetologist trains a barber apprentice for facials, we will accept those hours. We will not accept those hours if a hairdresser attempts to do facials. I put that in the minutes so that it's there for future individuals as well. You're okay with that?
So I need to make a motion to correct the barber apprentice under cosmetologist, to state also that a cosmetologist may train a barber on facials. Is the motion
Do
good
you have
enough?
to,
And
do
can
you
we,
have to include estheticians are allowed to
No,
train a barber?
because the, your statute doesn't say that a barber apprentice may train under an esthetician.
So it has to be a
Mm-hmm.
cosmetologist or a barber.
Hairdresser is who is allowed to train a barber.
Okay. Okay. I second the motion.
okay. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I don't see Michael. I
Oh.
think he's
He
missing.
said yes. He said yes.
I'm right here.
We
Sorry.
have enough.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay.
Unanimous.
Michael, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
everyone-
Okay. Are there any opposed? Any noes? Okay, unanimously, it's carried.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Well, you're gonna make a couple of people very happy. We'll just put it that way. I have one more question regarding your administrative rules. This is 1678-59 subsection B. A beauty school shall enroll only students who are at least 16 years of age and who have an education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12. We had a person apply that had gone to school and did not have a high school equivalency. So I sent that school to Rico, and Rico said, on July 15, 2019, you said that they could accept those students. So I sent you a copy of those minutes. It appears to me that the board wants their students to have completed high school before they start beauty school.
Yes, and
How
I
those
was
minutes
appalled.
read. Those minutes are very confusing, so I need the board to clarify their interpretation of their 1678-59.
Well,
In my opinion, I don't think it's necessary to have a high school diploma, but that is my opinion. I'm not sure anymore because there are many talented human beings who school is just not their thing, but they are amazing in the workforce.
And I 100% agree with you. Our issue comes in that in 2014, your rules were updated.
And in 2014, we didn't have a pandemic that made kids drop out of school real fast because they were online.
Right. So, but in 2014, you updated your rules to say that there would be a high school equivalency due to the U.S. Department of Education's wanting to know whether schools were secondary or post-secondary. So you have a copy of that October 14 letter.
mm-hmm.
Says the board has secured the USDE's agreement that the proposed rule amendments will enable beauty schools in Hawaii to comply with the state authorization regulations.
Well, I didn't read that.
Clarify secondary and post-secondary schools. So it says that all states that regulate beauty schools have to clearly demonstrate to the USDA that the laws and rules of the licensing authority differentiate between license approvals provided to secondary and post-secondary institutions. The public must be able to distinguish between a licensed beauty school offering secondary versus post-secondary education. Post-secondary is after completion of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when these rules were updated to say that you have to have gone to high school. So if a school is going to offer education without a high school diploma, it has to be clearly understood by the public. And our rules say that they have to have a high school diploma. So we need to make a decision whether we're post-secondary or secondary. And And it seems like the board already did that in 2014.
And they said we're post-secondary.
Well,
Yes.
it appears that way because it says that you have to have a high school diploma to get a license, to apply for licensure.
Well, beyond beauty schools, doesn't HCC require that for the course?
Yes, I
Yes,
call the
it's-
university.
Well, then
Because,
that's kind of,
because you're getting your associate's degree as
Yes,
well as
yes.
your beauty license. But at like Margaret, you right now you follow the rules, yes. So they have to have their, but technically you don't, right? Because you're not giving them you're not giving them an associate's degree.
Oh, no, we are required to have a copy of the student's high school diploma.
Oh, well, you
And
guys are barbering,
homeschoolers-
right?
Even for barbering. Homeschooling, if they don't have the GED, they can't attend our school, just as they can't attend the university.
Apprenticeships, do
That's
they
really
need their high school diploma?
According to the law, yes, they need to have their high school diploma. But according to what I'm reading of the 2000 minutes of the July 15th, 2019 meeting, it says it does not preclude the applicant from being able to attend beauty school classes or submitting any application for apprenticeship or for licensure.
Well, you can
When I
submit,
saw that, this is
but
something you
you're-
just sent.
yeah, you're going to be denied licensure because you don't have a high school diploma. Your statute,
Yeah, but
you have to have a high school diploma for licensure. So
oh, it's in the statute.
based on your July 2019 minutes, any school can, not apprentices have to have a high school diploma. But any
Mhm.
school can have someone start school, spend, $6,000 to
All that time.
$15,000. And then when they apply for licensure, we say you don't qualify, you don't have a high school diploma.
Right. So I'm going to go work illegally. I don't like that. I think that should be corrected.
So, what the minutes are saying is it doesn't preclude them from starting classes,
Uh-huh. It still
But-
should be corrected.
but.
What I think what the intent was that they take the GED. But I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Weird.
that's why I need clarification, because I have an applicant who went to beauty school, has graduated beauty school. I don't know if she got federal funding at a post-secondary school without a high school diploma. That's not my business. That's up to the school to worry about. But I can't give her a license because she doesn't meet our requirements. She doesn't have a high school diploma. She's gone to
So-
she's graduated beauty school, but she doesn't have a high school diploma. And the rules clearly state that for licensure, to apply for a license, you have to have a high school diploma.
well, should we be more,
Oh, go ahead, Michael, I'm sorry.
that's okay, that's okay. Shouldn't we try to be more consistent? I mean, if we're concerned about people coming in and, going to see a professional and, knowing the education they had, there's a big, discrepancy between someone who has a high school diploma and someone doesn't. I mean, it's not consistent if, HCC requires it and then the beauty schools don't. And then that kind of puts them at an advantage as well, I mean, financially, because they can, anyone can go to school there. So I don't know. I just thinking, it should be consistent.
I tell you from a person who had a hard time in high school, and I hated high school, but I finished. I tried HCC. I quit before my liberal arts part was done because I didn't want to do the associate degree. So then I went into other beauty schools. I went directly to the beauty school. So these kids who are having I have teenage boys. Luckily mine are doing okay, but there's some of them that are struggling in school. And it's not because they're not smart. They're intelligent, social kids, and they would do amazingly in our industry. And I feel like we're blocking them from being successful in these items. I feel like cosmetology should be offered in the high schools, not have to wait till you're out of high school. That's in my opinion. Like because these kids could go to work. I tell my nieces and nephews who are very talented in painting nails, I'm like, go to school, get your nail degree, and then work as a nail technician while you're going to college. You can have an income, whether they stay here in Hawaii or go to the mainland. So if they had hair or cosmetology in high school before they graduate, then they have options. But some of these kids just drop out. There are a lot more people leaving high school now. Dude, I mean, especially during the pandemic, I had 2 of my family members that dropped out of school. They went into getting their GED, but they're very good at what they're doing now. 3 years later in the industry they decided to go into. So
No, I agree with you. I mean, there's an awful lot of talent there. And I think, we're beginning to move more towards, experience-based hiring, like even in other professions as well. They're beginning to give credit for people, to have experience. It shouldn't be just about the degree and what you can afford. I mean, because obviously that's a big part of it as well. I agree with you. I'm just wrestling with, I guess, the consistency part,
Yeah.
Wondering if now I'm not saying I'm definitely think that, but just wondering if we should not be, consistent, and then how would people know?
if we're consistent as to getting people into our industry, and some of them are going to be really good because they're not academically intelligent, but they are socially and they can figure out everything. But if HCC wants to continue to require them to have their diploma, that's up to the school itself.
Yeah.
And their universities, so then allow them to do that. But to get your license and you went to the school, you passed the school, and then you end up saying no and you get to the state, that sucks. Like I would.
So this
No, it's interesting. It's interesting, but I wonder what states allow. I think some states, I believe Pennsylvania, requires you to have either a GED or 10th grade completed. So there are states that do that, don't require. And I'm all for that because, it's, I mean, that's how I came up,
Okay, so here's the thing. Your rules, this is where I'm having difficulty. In 1678-59 says a beauty school shall enroll only students who are at least 16 years of age and who have an education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12.
Mhm.
It's your rules that say that. I'm all for people going out and getting their GED and learning a job on the job training, but even your apprentices have to have a high school diploma.
Yeah. So although I see the utility in being able to allow kids to, do this, but I'm not sure we should be that inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would think that if you were going to not require the high school equivalent, it would be for the apprentices, not for the school students. But
Yeah, I
the
got you.
apprentices have to have a high school diploma. It's written in your rules that an apprentice must have a high school diploma.
So we would have
It's
to
not in
change
the
everything,
statute.
really.
Or high school equivalent, not a diploma. You can have GED, but
Is it not in the statute?
if you go to the statute 439A6, and it talks about applications, requisites for admission. A barber applicant shall have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. A cosmetologist applicant shall have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. A hairdresser applicant shall have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. An esthetician applicant shall have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. A nail technician shall have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. That's for licensure. Those are the what you need for licensure. And
that's in the statute.
And
then it's there.
And the administrative rules say a beauty school shall only enroll students who are at least 16 years of age and who have an education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12.
Uh-oh. Oh, then that school did wrong.
So the statute says you have to have an education equivalent to high school for licensure.
Mhm.
It appears, by the way I read the rules, you have 1678-2, beauty school, unless the context clearly indicates otherwise, means a post-secondary school engaged in the teaching of cosmetology. Post-secondary means beyond the education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12.
Yeah.
Those are your rules. I'm not being mean. I'm trying to
No.
I'm trying to clarify confusion from 2019 to what the rules say.
Well, aren't we completely tied into the statute? When you say statute, you're saying this is the law. It has to be changed in the law if it's going to be changed. And the law says that you have to be equivalent to high school. So there's not a question for the person who was taught by this school. They've got to take the GED. I don't think it's any question because that's the law. There's a difference between our rules and the law. We can't, as board members, correct the law with our rules. Or we can't vote to change it for someone. It has to be done by changing the law. Isn't that right?
That would make sense to me.
So,
I think correct, and I think that will address our consistency. As brought up earlier, if it's stated by statute, then we need to follow it. Unless the law gets, and I think that will allow us to be consistent with previous decisions that's already been made with regards to students getting their license. And I also agree with Renette that students could start, but they won't get, students could start at the school, but they won't get their license until they complete their GED or equivalency. And then
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I could swear Kai had said that the law requires beauty schools to have high school diplomas or have accepted only students who have high school equivalency. Kai, did we lose you?
Sure, it's okay. It's the USDE has required since at least 2014 that the states that regulate beauty schools clearly demonstrate between secondary and post-secondary institutions.
Oh.
Secondary would be a program in a high school. Yeah. Your high school has a cosmetology program. Your high school has a barber program.
Mm-hmm.
Post-secondary would be a school after high school that someone could go to.
Yeah. But
so the USDE requires that we as a body that licenses beauty schools distinguish between secondary and post-secondary. And it would appear that the rules that were adopted in 2014 were saying that our schools would be post-secondary, unless it explicitly says that it's not a post-secondary school.
okay. Then the law does not address that area is what I'm asking, really.
So your question is, do we stick with what it says and deny her license because she does not have her?
No, this woman has been denied licensure until she goes to get her GED.
Okay.
The statute says that a nail technician must have completed high school. That's what
Okay.
what I am asking the board to do is to clarify, does a beauty school need to verify that their student has completed high school? Because
Oh yeah, then that's
the law.
That's the law. I think all of us were confused on your question. That's the law, if that's what's stated.
Because your 2019 minutes, which is what Rico went off of to say we can't go after this school, these minutes seem to indicate that people can start beauty school without the high school diploma.
But
or GED.
The rules 1678-59 does say a beauty school shall enroll only students that are at least 16 years of age and who have an education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12. So it's actually saying you have to have that high school. But I'm looking at grade 12. You can complete grade 12 without passing it.
I think that would be GED. That's
yeah, but the actual minutes that you did give us from 2019 say from submitting any application for apprenticeship or licensure. That's the word that appalls me. It's actually in the minutes. And I think in 2019, I was on a board. I should have caught it. So sorry. There's so much I missed. I should have gotten involved a little bit more. But that is the weirdest minutes.
Yeah, my concern is that it says that they can attend beauty school classes without having the GED or the high school diploma, but from reading everything else, it appears that only if it's a secondary beauty school, and it looks like our beauty schools are post-secondary. There's some sort of disconnect between this set of minutes and what I'm reading in all of the other documentation. And that's what I'm bringing to the board. I would like clarification, clear direction, because when I sent a school to Rico for allowing a person without a high school diploma to be enrolled and graduate, they said, but these minutes say they can do that. So I don't understand that. I think doing individuals a disservice saying, oh, you can go ahead and enroll and spend thousands of dollars, but we're not going to give you a license when you're done.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, they can apply and then we can have to tell them we can't do it. The law actually says we can't.
So I would like the board to look at 439A6 that says that everyone to apply to the person applying shall be at least 16 years of age, file an application, and possess and have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. And your rules that say schools can only enroll people that have an education equivalent to high school, and give me very clear language of what the board wants for someone applying to a beauty school that we have licensed.
I don't think there's a question of what the board wants or what is law. When it's law, we do have to say they must have a high school diploma or high school equivalency.
Can we just quote the text?
Yes. Basically what it is, we need a vote, so it's in the minutes. That's probably what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we inform the person or the
just put it in
correct the information to quote exactly what the chapter and law on cosmetology states, and that's that a person must have a high school diploma or a high school equivalency in order to apply for the state board exam. I would recommend that the beauty schools do the same, but it's not necessary. If a beauty school does enroll a person, and I'm going off now, I'm not actually putting it in, but I believe a beauty school should inform a person in writing and get their signature saying that they understand they have to get the GED before they graduate, before they take the state board. Some other thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
Only because how do we change the law?
Well, that's,
You have to go to legislation.
the legislature to change the law.
Mhm.
Well, I know.
And you will have the entire component of cosmetologists opposing to you because they're all very proud that they got their licenses. They don't want anybody else to do so.
Well, so Margaret, I heard your vote, but your vote was contrary to what was said earlier about
Oh, really?
the beauty schools people enrolling in beauty schools have to have a high school equivalency. And then you said, or get it in writing from the person that they know they have to get the high school equivalency.
Well, I said not as part of what I'm recommending, but if the law doesn't say that they have to have the high school equivalency to enter beauty school, which it doesn't.
Can I ask a question here?
I've forgotten.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
For clarity, there is no secondary school that offers cosmetology. No high school in the state of Hawaii offers cosmetology as part of the educational program.
No.
The schools that offer cosmetology is licensed schools from this board, which means they're all post-secondary. And if you're a post-secondary institution, then you have to understand to enroll your student at your school, they must have a high school equivalency to complete the program. Is that my understanding?
Yep.
And if that's true, then there's no more discussion because this school failed by accepting the student early on without having the high school equivalency to complete the program.
Yeah, the minutes of the meeting are incorrect. I don't know how that was interpreted that way. But even the rule 1678-59 does say a beauty school shall enroll only students who are at least 16 years of age and who have an education equivalent to the completion of high school or grade 12.
Oh, and my question is, why did the school use the minutes as their guideline? They should have gone to the law.
I think it was Rico.
Rico used the minutes.
Because this particular school has stated several times in writing to me that individuals may start school without a high school equivalency because they've been told that by the board. And I'm assuming that this was what they were referring back to.
Yep.
So it is the board's opinion, motion by Margaret, that based on the statute 439A and the administrative rules 1678-59, a school must verify, schools should only enroll individuals that have a high school equivalency or GED.
Yes, because if they're not going to be able to get their license in the end, yes.
And then any confusion that was created from the 2019 minutes is now clarified and is corrected for all future. I'm wondering about the person who is now applying. without the high school
Go get their
diploma.
GED or their diploma in order to meet the requirements for licensure.
She can get a GED. They can get GEDs. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. Raynette, I know people, I'm very close to people who had to get the GED and had to take the tests 3-6 times. And I do understand the GED is not easy,
No,
but
it's not.
it's an accomplishment that proves that you can succeed in the future. It's something to really, really work hard on.
So Margaret made a motion that a high school equivalency or GED is required to enroll in one of our approved beauty schools. There was no second. And if we're gonna get this in the minutes, it needs to be seconded.
I second.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have, what is it, all in favor? Say yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Oh, everybody. Oh, except for Michael.
Yes.
And any opposed? Oh, okay. Then any opposed? There, it's unanimous. We do carry the motion. Okay. Now I want some more discussion though. This has got to be occurring because of people. Since we did have that in the minutes up until now, and we're correcting it with the minutes now, what about the people that are involved that started beauty school before this date, between 2019 and currently?
I don't believe there's anything we can do about it other than when they apply for licensure, let them know that for licensure, they need a high school diploma or GED.
Okay. Okay.
You folks are sending the letter to the school who has said that the board told them that now this is what the guidelines are, and we are following the guidelines.
I think it might, I think it might behoove the board. I don't know that any other school is enrolling anyone without a high school diploma, but rather than single out any individual school, perhaps we do a memo that is sent out to all schools, reminding them that the statute has been updated. And
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I was just wondering if, since this school, so this school didn't specifically ask about it. It was the student who graduated got denied, and that's where the question came from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
You are correct.
Okay. I've done it again.
That was the last.
I have a question. Okay, that's what my question was. Is that the last item on the agenda? Because I've mixed it up again. In which case, is it time to adjourn?
Oh, Margaret.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to be seeing me at most board meetings. I'll be able to come, but I won't have to prepare for them. Yay. So, well, thank you very much.
Question before. And
Yes,
before
go
I
ahead.
just pick the last meeting, I've been working with Chancellor Louis Hokawana here at UH Maui to submit an application to expand their programs at UH Maui to include a beauty esthetician program.
Yes.
Did that? Okay, it did reach your desk. That's all I'm asking. If it reached your desk.
We've seen that application. We're working with them. Yes.
Great, thank you. I much appreciate it.
Okay. Well, everyone, Chair Williams, would you like to do your last official act and adjourn our meeting?
All right. My last meeting is adjourned at 1:33 on May 14th. And thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Aloha.
Bye.